Have you ever felt it? That strange, almost sacred power that stirs within you when you choose silence over noise? Have you ever walked into a room and felt the very air shift, the energetic currents rearranging themselves around your stillness, even though you haven't uttered a single word? If this resonates with you, know that you are not just imagining things. You are tapping into a profound and ancient source of power, a frequency that the world has forgotten how to hear. This is a sign of your awakening, a signal that you are different. You are not meant to be loud to be heard. Your very presence is a statement. If you understand this feeling, let your soul speak in the comments below with a simple "I resonate," and subscribe to this channel to continue your journey into the heart of true power. Because what we are about to explore is not just a philosophy, it is your destiny waiting to be claimed. There is an old saying, born from the brutal honesty of conflict: there is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others. While this speaks of nations and armies, a deeper truth echoes within it, a truth that applies to the battlefield of your own soul. The inner war, the conflict between your divine self and the conditioned ego, is an unavoidable part of the human journey. To postpone this inner reckoning, to shy away from the discipline required for self-mastery, is to cede your divine power to the chaotic energies of others, to the whims of a world that thrives on your distraction and weakness. What if the most profound power you could ever wield wasn't found in what you declare to the world, but in the sacred, unspoken truths you hold within? What if your strength wasn't measured by the volume of your voice, but by the weight of your silence? The world teaches you to be seen and heard, to perform, to shout for attention. But the universe whispers a different truth. It tells you that the most potent force in any space, the most formidable presence, is not the one that makes the most noise. It is the one whose stillness creates waves, whose quiet confidence is a force of nature that makes others deeply, inexplicably uncomfortable. This discomfort is the first sign of their recognition, not of danger, but of a sovereign energy they cannot comprehend or control. They feel your frequency before they hear your words. This is the one whose silence is a roar, an undeniable declaration of self-possession that drowns out the empty chatter of the world. Imagine this divine principle in action. You enter a space filled with the usual hum of social static, the nervous laughter, the performative conversations. But as you cross the threshold, a subtle shift occurs. The frequency of the room changes. Conversations may not stop, but their energy falters. People steal nervous glances, their practiced smiles fading for a fraction of a second. They feel something primal, an ancient authority in your presence. They don't know why they feel it, but their soul recognizes a master. This is because true power, spiritual power, is never seen. It is felt. It is an invisible vibration, a shadow that falls over the landscape of their ego, a force that unsettles even the strongest of masks. It is a presence that lurks just beyond their limited understanding, a mystery they feel an instinctive need to solve, yet are terrified to confront. This is the essence of what it means to be truly formidable. It is not a display of threats or the potential for violence. It is about divine control, the control of your own emotional state, the mastery of your own energetic field, the command of your own sacred silence. To walk this path is to become a living mystery, wrapped in an unshakable calm. It's to possess a mind that is always observing, always perceiving the subtle energies at play, not with anxiety, but with divine awareness. It is to have a heart that never reveals its next move, not out of deception, but because its moves are guided by an inner wisdom that the outside world cannot predict. This is the power few dare to wield, and even fewer truly understand. To become this presence in the room, you must first become an absolute master of the universe within yourself. You must become quiet, not timid. You must become cool, not cold-hearted. You must become unpredictable, not chaotic. Only then, when you have achieved this state of inner sovereignty, do you truly own the room without ever having to raise your voice. True divine power doesn't crash through the door shouting for attention. It doesn't wave its arms or demand to be seen. True power walks in with the quiet grace of a shadow. It watches with the stillness of a predator, and it instantly, effortlessly, takes energetic control of the entire atmosphere. When you study the most masterful figures throughout history, the sages, the mystics, the silent leaders who shaped empires not with brute force, but with an unshakable will, you will notice one universal truth. They all mastered the art of psychological and spiritual dominance before anything else. The ultimate battlefield is not in the physical world. It is, and always has been, the human mind. People do not fear what they can easily understand and categorize. They fear the unknown. They fear the unpredictable. They fear the void of silence because it reflects their own inner noise. The moment someone believes they can fully read you, label you, and place you in a neat little box, you lose your divine power over them. They no longer fear you. They begin to manage you. They will attempt to manipulate your predictable reactions and play upon your known weaknesses. But the individual, they cannot figure out the one who doesn't fit into their preconceived notions, the one who speaks little, who doesn't react with predictable emotion, and who, most importantly, doesn't need their validation. That person becomes a force to be reckoned with. That person begins to occupy their mind, living in their head, rent-free. That person becomes truly sovereign. So, how do you begin to cultivate this sacred power? Let's break down this divine alchemy. First, you must learn to starve the expectations of others. Most people enter a room radiating a desperate need to be liked, to be accepted, to be validated. Their energy is an open book, broadcasting their insecurities. They overshare, they adjust themselves to fit in, they dilute their own essence to be palatable to the collective. But the awakened individual, the truly powerful presence, enters a room and is profoundly indifferent to the approval of others. They do not seek it, and this very indifference becomes a magnetic force. It makes people question their own need for validation and unconsciously begin to seek yours. You starve the room of its predictability. You do not provide the easy emotional reactions they are accustomed to. You don't laugh too loudly at their jokes. You don't rush to agree with their opinions. You don't offer sympathy where it is not earned. This composed neutrality is deeply unsettling to the ego, and in that unsettled state, you hold all the power. Second, you must become emotionally untouchable. A person who reacts emotionally is a person who can be easily controlled. Their emotions are strings, and the world is full of puppet masters eager to pull them. Trigger their anger, and you have successfully distracted them. Make them feel guilty, and you have made them submissive. Activate their insecurities, and you have made them fragile and weak. But what about the soul who simply does not react? The one who hears insults like whispers in the wind? The one who remains in a state of divine calm while others lose control in a tempest of their own making? That person becomes untouchable. They are the storm that never needs to strike because the mere possibility of its power is enough. Everyone fears it might. To reach this level of mastery, you must begin a sacred and disciplined practice. You must quiet your emotional impulses. You must study your own reactions, like a scientist observing an experiment, without judgment, but with a deep desire to understand. Don't speak when provoked. Don't defend when accused. Don't explain when misunderstood. Explanation is a form of energetic weakness. It is a silent way of begging for understanding and validation. Let them misunderstand you. Let them project their own stories onto you, and simply watch, from a place of higher awareness, how your mystery deepens and your power grows. Third, you must master presence over performance. The unawakened world is a stage, and most people are merely actors, performing a role they think will win them applause. They project an image, they wear social masks, and they exaggerate traits they believe will make them stand out. It is an exhausting and inauthentic way to live. But the most powerful person in the room does none of that. They do not perform, they simply are. Their very presence is the message. It's in the way they sit still, grounded, occupying their space with an effortless authority. It's in the way they walk slow, deliberate, each step a testament to their purpose. It's in how they look at people with a steady, unreadable gaze that sees beyond the surface. They understand that people may forget your words, but they will never, ever forget how your energy made them feel. The truly powerful person makes others feel uncertain, cautious, perhaps even inferior, without ever saying a word that would suggest it. That is the power of pure, unadulterated presence. You don't need to talk much. In fact, the less you say, the more the empty spaces are filled by the projections and insecurities of others. You become the blank canvas for their fears, and that is precisely where your true power begins to take form. This is the first layer of awakening into the most potent version of yourself. It is about learning to control the psychological and energetic atmosphere, not by demanding attention, but by owning it. Not through noise, but through a profound and deafening silence. Not by reacting to the world, but by making the world react to your presence. Silence is the language of source energy, and those who master it command rooms without effort. The weak talk too much. They feel a constant, nagging need to prove, to explain, to perform. They are terrified of silence because in silence, their true, unhealed selves are exposed. But the divinely awakened man, the dangerous man, he thrives in silence. He allows others to reveal their entire hand, while he simply listens, calculates, and remains unreadable. You must understand this. In any room, in any interaction, the person who speaks less holds more power, not because of what they are hiding, but because of what others assume they are hiding. People will project their own fears, their own hopes, and all of their deepest insecurities onto the canvas of your silence. When you learn to withhold your opinions, your emotions, and even your most subtle facial reactions, people are forced to wonder, what are you thinking? What are you planning? Are you judging them? Are you impressed? Are you a threat? That cloud of uncertainty is what breeds anxiety in them, and their anxiety is your control. Let them talk, let them overshare, let them try to impress you. Meanwhile, you give them nothing in return. You might offer a slow, deliberate nod. You might raise an eyebrow, just for a moment. But you never overexpress. You never explain yourself. You never try to be understood. The dangerous person understands that silence is not a passive state. It is an active force. It compels the room to respond to you. So, use the weight of your presence. Every movement you make should be intentional and deliberate. Do not fidget. Do not glance around nervously. Hold your posture like a king surveying his domain, not like a guest hoping for an invitation. Even the rhythm of your breath should be calm and steady, a silent sign that you are unaffected, unmoved, and completely in control of your inner state. When you walk into a room, do not announce yourself. Let your energy do the work for you. Sit still while others squirm. Watch without being watched. Don't laugh too quickly. Don't react to jokes that are designed to test your boundaries. Your stillness will make them question themselves. That is the power of presence amplified by silence. It becomes a subtle pressure, and that pressure breaks the weak long before you ever need to speak. Speak rarely, but when you do, speak with surgical precision. You don't need to be a mute, but your words must be your sharpest tool, used sparingly and with great effect. Speak slowly, speak less, make every single sentence count. When you finally speak, it should feel like a verdict, not a suggestion. Let them lean in to hear you. Let them wait for your words, not ignore them. If they try to talk over you, simply go quiet. Force the silence back into the room. They will feel its weight, and they will adjust. You'll soon find that people become obsessed with gaining your opinion. They'll start asking you directly, "What do you think?" That is the moment you know you have won. You have made your silence so powerful that your voice now carries an immense weight. And once your voice carries that weight, you will find you no longer need to raise it. Never interrupt. Always observe. Let people speak. Let them run their mouths. Most people will reveal their entire strategy, their deepest fears, and their most vulnerable weaknesses within the first 5 minutes of any conversation, simply to fill the uncomfortable void of silence. They will show you their pride, their fears, their insecurities, just to avoid that emptiness. Do not fill it for them. Observe. Watch their micro-expressions. Listen for the subtle contradictions in their stories. Study what they are truly saying beneath the surface of their words. While they are desperately trying to win your approval, you are calmly and quietly profiling them. While they seek your attention, you are taking divine notes. This is where the power shifts, silently and invisibly. You are no longer a participant in their game, you are the hunter, and they are revealing their every move. The moment you stop reacting and start observing, you become the most dangerous person in the room. Let your silence be the threat. When someone disrespects you, do not argue, do not justify. Simply look at them and let the silence hang in the air. Most people cannot stand it. They will crack. They will retract their statement, or they will escalate and completely expose their immature nature. You don't win by reacting. You win by becoming the unshakable center, the black hole that no one wants to fall into. Let them talk themselves into regret. Let them drown in the silence that you command. This is the silent game of power. You speak only when it truly matters. You react only when it is absolutely necessary. You listen with divine intensity, and you reveal nothing. In doing so, you control the tempo, the tone, and the tension of every room you enter, because the one who controls the silence controls the room. If you truly wish to walk this path of power, you must learn to feel nothing. The world is full of emotionally reactive men, impulsive and easily provoked. They mistake their passion for power, but it is a fatal error. It makes them predictable. It makes them easy to control. Because when your emotions rule you, anyone can manipulate you. All they need to do is find and press the right button. But the man who feels nothing inside, the man who has mastered his inner world, he is untouchable. Emotional detachment is your greatest spiritual armor. This doesn't mean becoming lifeless. It means being in absolute, unwavering control of your inner world. It means standing in the middle of chaos and remaining perfectly still inside. No panic, no anger, no fear, just ruthless, clear calculation. This is why most men fail. They give away their divine power the moment they feel offended. They cannot handle disrespect, criticism, or rejection, so they react. They argue, they yell, they defend themselves. But every time you react emotionally, you confirm your weakness. You show the world exactly what affects you, and once they know that, they own you. The dangerous man doesn't argue, he observes. He doesn't get angry, he gets colder. And that coldness becomes terrifying because people expect a reaction. When you refuse to give them one, they panic. Master your face, master the room. Your face betrays you. Every twitch, every raised eyebrow, every fleeting smirk reveals something about your inner state. Most men wear their emotions like a cheap suit, telegraphing their insecurity, their need for validation, their fear of confrontation. But when your face becomes a stone mask, when your gaze is flat and still, when your smile is rare and calculated, you become unreadable. And unreadable equals untouchable. Start training your face in the mirror. Practice blankness, practice silence, practice breathing calmly through pressure. Your lack of emotional display should make people uncomfortable. That discomfort is your weapon. Let go of the need to be liked. The emotionally weak crave approval. They are addicted to smiles, compliments, and the feeling of inclusion. They will compromise their own beliefs and values just to avoid being judged. But the dangerous man, the awakened man, walks alone. He doesn't care if he's liked. He cares if he's respected. And even more, if he is feared. Approval is a leash. If you seek it, you are already owned. Let people misunderstand you. Let them assume you are arrogant, cold, or ruthless. Do not explain yourself. Do not correct their image of you. If your silence makes them uneasy, good. That means it's working. You weren't created to be liked. You were created to be remembered. Detachment is the ultimate key. It kills all manipulation. People use emotions to control you: guilt, pity, shame, and fear. But these tricks only work on men who are emotionally reactive. When you are detached, you become immune. They will say, "You've changed." Good. They will say, "You don't care anymore." Exactly. They will say, "You're heartless." Now you are finally getting it. The world wants to soften you, to weaken you, to draw you back into the fold of emotional obedience. Do not fall for it. Your detachment isn't cruelty. It's control. It's power. When someone tries to hurt you and you show no reaction, no sadness, no anger, no visible discomfort, you shatter their illusion of control. They realize you are not like the others. You are not easy to move. You don't respond to pressure. You are the pressure. When you care less, you control more. Think about it. Who is truly in control? The one who needs nothing from anyone, or the one begging for an emotional connection? The less you care, the more they chase. The more you detach, the more they obsess. And when they finally realize they cannot shake you, cannot influence you, and cannot figure you out, they will begin to fear you. That is the divine shift from being likable to being lethal. And here is the ultimate truth. Detachment does not just protect you, it elevates you. You begin to see things with a divine clarity. You stop reacting and start calculating. You see the strings of manipulation long before they reach you. You read people like open books while remaining an unreadable mystery yourself. This is the art of emotional warfare, and you win by staying calm when others break, by staying cold when others burn, by showing no weakness, ever. This is emotional detachment, the final weapon in your spiritual arsenal. Without it, you will always be someone else's puppet. But with it, you become the most dangerous and powerful presence in any room. You become a force of nature. Respect is not something you ask for. It is taken. Without a word, without a plea, without compromise. Most men chase respect by trying to be helpful, agreeable, and kind. But the moment you try to earn it through your own humility, you give away all your leverage. You teach people that your worth is dependent upon their approval. But the most dangerous man never begs for respect. He doesn't demand it either. He simply walks into a room, and respect happens naturally, involuntarily. People adjust. They speak differently around him. They move out of his way. Not because he is loud or famous, but because his very aura tells them that this is a man not to be trifled with. That is the ruthless aura, and it can be built piece by piece through divine discipline. You become the man they don't want to cross because they understand you do not negotiate your standards. This creates a spiritual gravity. People will begin to orbit around those who will not move. Be willing to lose anyone except yourself. This is what truly separates the weak from the dangerous. The weak fear losing people. The dangerous fear losing themselves. You cannot be manipulated if you are willing to walk away from anyone at any time. You cannot be broken if your identity is not attached to the approval of others. You cannot be used if you do not need anything from anyone. When you reach that level of emotional independence, that strategic silence, that detached confidence, no one can touch you. And that is what makes you the most dangerous person in any room. Because the world cannot control a man who does not fear solitude, and a man who controls himself controls everything. Do not overexpose yourself. The moment you begin to explain your power, you dilute it. The moment you become predictable, you become manageable. Stay silent, stay strategic. Let them doubt you, let them fear you, let them misunderstand you, but never, ever give them the full picture. You are not a story to be told. You are a mystery to be experienced. Let them talk, let them judge, let them underestimate you. And when the time is right, you will strike without warning, not with emotion, not with desperation, but with the cold, hard precision and finality of a universal law. That is how you become truly untouchable. You are not here to be average. You are not here to be liked. You are here to become a presence so cold, so composed, so mentally impenetrable that even your silence makes the world nervous. And if this message resonated deep within your soul, you already know who you are becoming. You are not chasing power. You are becoming it.